Hello and welcome to French Ear Trumpet. It's me, Andy, from AJ in France, and Colin from French Countryside Life.
Hello there.
On this channel, we just talk about anything that we think you lot might find interesting. Just if you do want us to cover a subject or there's something you'd want more information about, put it in the comments and we can add it to our list of stuff to discuss. Right, so this time we are going to talk about home improvements, specifically do-it-yourself, DIY, how it differs in France to doing it in England, because we're both from the UK, aren't we? I guess this is probably going to differ a lot from how it's done in America. I don't know the rules or regulations over there, but we can certainly comment on how it's done here in France and how we did it, because we both did DIY. I was a builder actually for many years in the UK.
I think what I would say, Andy, is that there's an incentive to learn DIY and to actually do it yourself, because the trade artisans can be very, very expensive, can't they? Whilst they're very, very good, and you get the 10-year guarantee on most stuff, as far as I'm aware, most work done. They are very, very expensive. Your brother's an artisan tiler, is he not?
Yeah, so my brother, he came over to France and he then started his own tiling company, and he's now a SARL company. So it's quite big. It's bigger than auto entrepreneur, and he does building sites and high-end renovations in and around Rennes, between Rennes and Nantes, well, around Rennes basically. And yeah, so he's an artisan, what you call an artisan, and so he has the decennial insurance and all that kind of stuff. We're actually going to get him on the channel.
Yeah.
So we're going to leave all that official side of things and how easy or difficult it is to start a company on your own.
Sure. I just wanted to say that you know, that as I say, the reason that DIY is so popular is because, you know, it can be very costly to get someone in to come and do things for you.
Insane amount of cost. Yeah. I reckon at least 3 times what you would pay in England for.
Yeah, they're always really busy, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, and that's another thing. There's no such thing as, I mean, there's definitely no such thing as customer service in France. We all know that. But there's no, I mean, if you program in a date, there is actually no guarantee that that person's going to turn up on that date. And for most tradesmen like that, the priority, I guess, is family life and everything else, and then work after. So that's why you get bumped down the chain, basically. So it's very difficult if you even to get people to just come and give you a quote, which is called a DEVI. For that to happen, it's actually really, really difficult. It's hard to spend your money, and that's not just that. I mean, just generally in France, it's hard to spend your money. Yeah. Sometimes it's crazy.
In terms of DIY, certainly the model in the UK would be to plan a project, pop to B&Q, who's like the market leader in like domestic DIY, I'd say, rather than trade DIY, if you know what I mean by that. Pop to B&Q, get the stuff, take it home, and have a go.
And you can be certain that there's a DIY extremely close to you as well.
Yeah. So just run through what you think the differences are in terms of just the availability of those items that you want to purchase to do or to complete a DIY job.
I think, so in England we have, you've already mentioned B&Q, but then more towards the trade side, but still public, you've got Screwfix and Tool Station. No, I've got a story about that. Just to go off on a little bit of a tangent.
No, we never.
Never did. I don't know if you've ever noticed in England, if you've got a screw fix, there's a tool station next door to you,
Yeah.
more or less.
Hmm.
So this is what I was told. And as with everything on this channel, do your own research. It may not be true, but it sounds really good. So the guy who invented Screwfix, and I remember the first adverts on the TV when they first came out, I was thinking, who the hell's going to bother with this? Anyway, so he started Screwfix, and it became a roaring success. So it was like, right, we're gonna sell Screwfix to Kingfisher. Kingfisher own B&Q, so it's the same company. But did you know they also own Brico Dépôt?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so they're actually present in France as well, Brico Dépôt, and you can actually buy stuff from Screwfix in France because it's the same company, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so this geezer sold Screwfix for multi-millions to Kingfisher, but they never put in the contract that he couldn't start up another Screwfix type shop, which normally people do. So he was like, done it once, do it again, and I'll make everything £1 or £1.50 cheaper than Screwfix. And I'll put my shops opposite all the Screwfix shops.
Yeah.
So he did it all over again, made millions, and then sold it to Travis Perkins, who own Wix.
Right.
So Travis Perkins, Wix, Benchmarks, and there's a tiling company they own, and City Plumbing. They're all Travis Perkins. They're all the same company. And he sold it to them as well. So now they own Tool Station as well. Big monopoly on it. So yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, that's why you get loads of DIY stores really close together.
Yeah.
All owned by the same company, and they've all been brought up like in that environment.
Sure.
But the difference in France is everything's spread out.
Yeah.
So if I have a job now, like tomorrow's Saturday, so let's say it gets to 11:30 and I need a widget or whatever. The nearest place to me that sells that is about 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
But crucially, it shuts at 12 o'clock.
Sure, of course it does.
Of course it does. It's France, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't open again till 2. So that suddenly that job
a
now.
lot of places as well, as you know, if they open on a Saturday, sometimes they don't open on a Monday because they've been open Saturday.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a favourite, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's a very weird feeling going into a DIY shop, approaching 12 o'clock, because that's normally about the time when you've done your bit in the morning and you're like going to the next bit and you think, oh, I need this part.
They get the rating up, don't
they? Yeah, you go into the DIY store, it's 11:30, and as it gets to 11:45 and you're still trying to pick something, the staff are appearing at the end of the aisles and you're thinking, what's going on here? And they will actually shoo you out of the store.
Manhandle you out of the store.
They'll be like, look, lunchtime, gotta go. Yeah. And they will literally pressure you to leave the store because they don't want to give up their lunchtime for some.
I mean, perfect example of that was when I cut my hand with a utility knife. Went to the hospital. Fantastic. Just sailed through the admission process. Sailed through that. Found myself sitting on a bed, with my hand on an examination table, being seen by a nurse within probably 10 minutes of walking in through the door. And then I had to wait 20 minutes for the doctor to finish his lunch.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't walk in with a little glass of Chardonnay.
What do we have here? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, their lunchtime. So getting back to the DIY, the biggest piece of advice I can give is plan well.
Yeah.
Because a trip
everything that you need before you start.
Trip to the DIY store is not a 5-minute affair. When I used to live back in the UK, my house, within 5 minutes drive, I could hit B&Q, Wix, Travis Perkins, Jewson's, Screwfix, Tool Station in under 5 minutes.
All of the above.
Open all day. every day except
Saturday, Sundays, yeah.
Well, yeah, Screwfix is on Sunday, obviously, and Tool Station and all that, B&Q. But it just you could roll in there and get what you wanted. Here, you've got to plan more. Really, I've got to plan. And the DIY stores are done differently as well. So in the UK, your store is just like a big warehouse type thing. You can park in the car park, get a trolley going, and then stack your trolley up with plasterboards, for example, or bags of sand or bags of cement, roll it out and put it in your car. In France, they have two separate bits to a store, don't they?
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, I was just going to touch on that actually. That you've got different levels of store. So you've got things like brico-marché, which is kind of aimed at gardening and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. They don't do a great range of stuff. Right up to, and I know I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Leroy Merlin.
What?
That's not how you pronounce it.
How's that? What?
Leroy Merlin.
Do you know, funny you should say that. Another tangent for you.
Yeah.
I was driving from up to Rennes on the main autoroute in my van, English registered at the time. This was years ago, before Brexit. And I was driving up and two police came out and then another van, and they came in front of me and it said, "Follow me," on the back of the van, like LED lights. Yeah. What? So anyway, so it turns out they were customs, douanes. Yeah. And the route that I go up every day is a main route from Africa. It's straight up through Spain, and it's literally, if you look on the map, it's straight up through Nantes, through Rennes, up to the north coast to England.
Yeah.
It's a big, they do random checks. Now, this is not the only time I've been checked, but I've been about 2 or 3 times that's happened to me. And
you do look a bit suspicious, actually, I've got to say.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I know. It's the beard, I think.
The beard,
yeah. Never trust anyone with a beard. So I followed them into the air, and they said, "What have you got in the back?" And it was empty. So I opened it, and they went, "Oh." And then they went, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm just going to Leroy Merlin's." And they went,
"Quoi?"
Exactly that. And then I said, "No, Leroy Merlin, the shop." In my best, at this time I couldn't speak a word French. In my best pidgin French, Le magasin, Leroy Merlin. No, never heard of it. Didn't even know what I was talking about. For about 10 minutes, I had to get my phone up and show, Leroy Merlin.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's not how you say it.
Yeah. So what you're saying earlier is that you drive in to one section of it, put the stuff into your car and your trailer, like self-selection, and they got fellas flying about with forklifts and stuff, and they to help. No health and safety at all, really, to speak of.
No.
So you put the stuff into your vehicle, and then you go out to the barrier, and then you pay for most of it. I mean, all of it. And no, you do pay for all of it, honestly. And and then you go and get parked up, and then you can go into the other section of the massive store, which is
more like B&Q type
more
stuff.
like Q, yeah. But they've got a massive range of everything, haven't they? There's huge, great stores.
So yeah, you have the big store like that. You have on one side they call it Cœur de Matériaux, which is heart of materials, which is the materials for first fix. So that's plasterboard, sand, cement, any concrete, anything large. You've got render, anything to do with gardening, like fencing, all that kind of stuff. That's all separate from the main shop. So don't go into these shops and think, "Oh, where's the bags of cement?" Well, they don't sell them in the actual shop. It's next door, and there is a separate entrance.
Yeah.
And like you say, you drive your car or your vehicle up to the barrier, it opens, and then you go around a one-way system, pick up the materials you want, and then on the way out, there's a barrier. You stop at the barrier, someone comes out and goes through your car or your trailer and checks everything you've got, and then you then go inside and pay at the counter. And so that's very different from how the UK works.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so there is, as I said, there's a vast range of stuff in the Leroy Merlin. Huge, but I mean, you know, I think we've got one about 35-40 minutes in one way and about an hour the other way. So they're not that close. So you really have to know what you want.
Yeah.
When you go, because you know you don't want to get home and go, oh no, I forgot. You know.
Because we've never done that, have we?
No, hardly at all.
No.
Only every time.
Yeah. Honestly, it's so demoralizing when you've just spent an hour, well, more than an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
It's a 3-hour trip, isn't it? It's you know, can easily be a 3-hour trip.
Yeah. So this not quite the same with the professional trades either. They don't. I mean, sometimes they use those stores, but generally speaking, they don't. They will have their own suppliers. So then you have your Dennis material, Point P, and we have also here in Brittany, we've got Britain material, and they're more like your but Point P and Dennis, so they're available anywhere, but they are more like your traditional builders merchants.
Builders merchants, yeah. There's one like that in Chabanais, and there's Chausson.
Yeah.
That's a massive chain, isn't it? Of virtually, I guess, direct to trade.
Yeah.
But as you say,
you can still buy from Dennis Point P, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
Super expensive, unless you've got a business number.
Yeah.
If you've got a business number, you can open an account, and you more or less up to 40% off if you've got a business.
I should do that, really. I really should do that.
You should,
yeah.
Yeah.
Must try harder.
Must try.
Come see me after school.
But they're pretty good. So they work slightly differently to the way we've just described. So with, like, for example, Dennis or Point P, you normally go into the office first. So you go inside to the office and you'll say, I want 10 plasterboards, 5 bags of sand, and a ton of gravel. They'll write you the invoice, you pay them, and then you go round the back with your little, whatever it is, piece of paper, and give it to the guy in the yard. He will then fork onto your trailer or whatever all the stuff you bought.
I think it's a similar sort of thing in Travis Perkins in the UK, isn't it?
Yeah. Now the UK slightly depends where you go. You could be one of the two ways. Like Travis Perkins, no, you go get your stuff first.
Right.
So you load your stuff in, whatever you want, and there's a guy in the yard with a forklift or whatever. And then you get a ticket from that guy. Then you go in and pay it.
Right.
But with the Dennis and the Point P, they're the opposite way around. So you got to prepay for what you want.
Yeah. So just comparing the prices of various things between the UK and France, I know that paint is really expensive here compared.
Yeah.
I know wood's quite expensive, but I've not bought wood in the UK for almost 3 years, so I've really got nothing to compare it like for like, really. But I know wood's quite expensive here.
Yeah, I think you'll be really surprised how much stuff costs in the UK now. I'm going to just plug a video, if you don't mind, on my channel. If you have a look, there's a 4-part series when I actually flew back and helped Big Dave.
Big Dave. All right, Big Dave.
To do
Is there
his
a description, Andy?
There will be now.
There you go.
Description, yeah. Funny you should mention it, yeah. So he wanted a kitchen. He wanted a kitchen extension on the back of his house, but the neighbours were actually quoted over £100,000 to do it, and obviously they didn't have that cash, and well, not many people do, and neither did the neighbours. So, but they wanted something similar. So I said, well, look, I'll come and help you do all the difficult bits, and then Dave can do the rest later. So I went over, so all the steels, the blocks, and the aggregates, and all that sort of stuff we bought in the UK, and that was quite recently. So that's about a year ago, and it was way more expensive than when I left, which was 2019, like almost double.
Right.
So since when you were last there, I reckon the prices have gone up. But to give you an idea, in France, like a ton of sand, 2 tons. No, it was 2 tons of sand I just recently got. It's €100.
Yeah. Did you buy it direct from because you can buy aggregates direct from quarries there, can't you?
Right. Yeah, you can. So to buy it from a quarry is way cheaper than anywhere else. But no, I bought it from a local agricole supplier. So they supply all your stuff for big farms, like gravel, sand.
Farm stuff,
yeah, farm stuff. But do you know what the funny thing is? So you go in the office, and half of it is the shop where you've got all your electric fences, your overalls and stuff. The other half is a carve selling wine.
Oh, really?
And I was like,
How French is that?
Why on earth are they doing that? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? You can get your wine set against the business.
Of course.
I pop in for a couple of sheep fences and 10 cases of Pinot Grigio.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a big thing. And we'll get onto our discount place down the road here, but they have the same setup. So on the way out, you pass through the carve. Instead of a gift shop, it's a carve. So you pick up your wine on the way out.
Nice.
No, so these agricultural places, I think it's Espace Emerald, something like that, or
I can't say that I've seen any around here, but
no, well,
I haven't been looking. I don't know whether that's just a regional thing.
You normally find somewhere where, right, so you've got a trailer, which is another thing you really need.
Yeah.
If you're going to come and do DIY in France, you're going to need a trailer.
Yeah, because I remember that chausson that we just mentioned. Because I looked at getting some blocks, and it costs more to have them delivered than it did to pay for the blocks.
Yeah.
I think it was about €90 to have them delivered, and the blocks were about 40, 45, something like that.
Yeah. So that's a good thing you mentioned. A link to another video.
In the description.
I built an extension for my dad when he was still here, and part of that job, the first half I got all the materials delivered, and the second half of the job I brought my trailer over, which is a 3.5 ton Ivor Williams, so I could go and pick up my materials.
Proper trailer.
So the money I saved in delivery was insane.
Yeah.
So if you're going to come over and do DIY, you need a trailer as big as you can tow on your license.
Yeah.
Because even when you've done all that, you need to take the rubbish to the tip, don't you?
Yeah. Although there is an issue with if you're going to bring the trailer over and it's going to stay here, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's over 750 kilos, it's got to be of its own registration number and be insured.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a consideration, isn't it?
If you bring the trailer from abroad, but
yeah.
But I mean, if you move here and you decide you're doing renovations or DIY and you want to buy a big trailer, get the biggest one you can legally tow. because it just saves you so much money. It'll pay for itself. It literally, and
Definitely,
everybody's got one, haven't they? Everyone's got a little trailer.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what I'd do about mine. I don't think you could function without one, to be honest.
No, you can move lawnmowers around. You can pick up materials.
Yeah.
Mostly, you can go to the déchetterie.
Pick up the people from the airport. It's always good.
That's it. Just chuck the luggage in the back.
What about people?
And the people. But I did a video where I put 2 cords of wood in a trailer and tipped it.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Save so much money. The wood then becomes really cheap. You know, it's a worthwhile investment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite fortunate here that the farmer down the road, Christian, he processes fallen trees in the area, or cuts down trees in the area, processes them, stacks them about 10 yards from my back gate.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So I went to see him a month ago. Said, you know, can you do me 4 stairs? And he said, yeah, of course. And I get him to cut them up into 30 centimetre.
Brilliant.
So they're pre-cut. And he brings his tractor down into my field and through the garden, and just dumps it right next to the wood store, and can just stack them up. And so we've already got next year's wood stacked up, ready to go.
That's great.
And
so it's going to dry out even more in the summer, isn't it?
I paid €60 a stair.
That's good. If you buy wood from a D.I.Y store or anywhere like that, it's so expensive.
Yeah, it's €150 a stair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a stair is a cubic metre. Now, you would think, because you're buying a cubic metre, it would be a cubic metre full up of wood, but it's actually not. So the smaller size wood you have, the less room it takes up. So even though you're buying a cubic metre, you're not actually buying a cubic metre.
That's how tricky is that?
Yeah. But I mean, it's not far off it. But 4 stairs is a lot of wood.
Yeah.
It'll be all day to stack it up.
Yeah. Yeah, you need. I mean, another thing most people will need when they come over here, I guess, is a ride-on lawnmower. I think that's essential as well.
Yeah, obviously, depending on the size of your property and the size of the garden, anything above a normal, what you would think would be a normal suburban garden in the UK, anything above that, you need a ride-on, because you'll be there all day.
Yeah. You will. You definitely need a ride-on lawnmower. You can pick them up reasonable price as well, second-hand on Le Bon Coin and places like that. But it's definitely a thing to get. Also a chainsaw as well. So it's something I never really considered in the UK.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't, would you?
No, but when I got over here, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to cut this? So that's it. You need a chainsaw.
Yeah.
And everything seems to be bigger.
Yeah, just to cover that a little bit, actually, chainsaws. You want to buy the best that you can, that you can afford, but also you want to buy the best safety equipment that you can afford as well, because chainsaws, they're terrifying. They're you can do a variety of damage with a chainsaw, can't you, to yourself?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So you need chainsaw trousers, which have got threads manufactured into them. That what happens if you slip or you get kicked back and it goes what would be into your leg, these threads separate from the material and clog the chainsaw up and stop it.
Wow. Yeah.
And chainsaw gloves, they've got the same stuff in, and a proper forestry safety hat and ear defenders and a mask, because you get a bit of kickback from the chainsaw. That's going straight for your boat race.
That is, yeah.
Straight for your face.
And you can use it for when you're doing streaming as well.
Streaming, yeah.
What's that in American?
Weed whackers.
Weed whackers. What's it in Australian? Brush cutter.
Brusho cutter, mate. It's got to be
Oh, I'm going to say sorry to my brother for the accent there.
Oh, don't.
Anyway, yeah, so you can use that mask for that because,
Yeah,
in fact,
definitely.
shout out to Robbie here from
Yes.
Escape to France Charente. He's getting well into his link in the description. You've been teaching him how to do some DIY stuff, but I noticed that he, on his early adventures in France, decided to go out and do a bit of trimming the garden with nettles, and they flew up in his face, and his face.
All his,
Yeah, I think in his word, he's no longer a 10, he's an 8 now, wasn't he? So,
He's an 8 out of 10 for the first time in his life. Oh dear.
yeah, but check his channel out, it's really good.
Yeah,
In fact, you feature in it quite a lot, don't you, recently?
just recently,
Doing DIY, in fact.
Yeah, just recently. He had some work done that wasn't completed for whatever reason, and I just went and finished the shower off. Basically, that was it.
Yeah.
Nothing too exciting. Yeah, but as I say, just coming back to the chainsaw, and just you need the best safety equipment that you can afford, and it could potentially save your life.
And keep it well maintained as well, because the chain can snap and all sorts of. I mean, they are just lethal bits of kit, really, aren't they? To be honest, they're just designed to kill you. Really.
Designed to maim and injure, aren't
they? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But also, I tell you what, recently I've been more and more using my electric chainsaw.
You know what? I've seen those about, and because they used to be a bit of a joke, didn't they?
Yeah.
But Stihl make them now, or Stihl make them now, don't they?
Mine's mains powered as well. It's not a battery one.
Right.
But I know the battery ones exist, and the DeWalt, Milwaukee, Stihl make them. And with battery technology now, I bet it's going to be really good. But I actually recently went to help out at a lake that my friend has got here, and there's loads of trees and stuff that needed cutting up. And I thought, well, I could take my petrol chainsaw, but I'm going to try something different, as usual. So I took down my generator.
Yeah.
And an electric chainsaw.
Yeah, brilliant.
And I actually found it better than using a normal petrol one, because I'm removed from all the fumes, which sometimes can get quite, if you're using it all the time with the two-stroke mix oil, it's in your face all the time. And we could plug the coffee machine in as well with the generator. So
winner chicken dinner.
Exactly. But it's worth. So if you're within range of a plug socket, get an electric one, because they'll virtually never go wrong. You don't have to service them other than the chain. That's it. Well worth it.
Although having said that, I've done the service on, because I've got a Stihl chainsaw and a Stihl strimmer, and they're particularly well set up to enable you to service it yourself. So you can buy service packs, as I'm sure you well know.
Yeah.
You buy service packs, and they're really easy. They're set up to be easy, and they don't cost much. But as you say, maintenance is the key, isn't it, to maintaining the tools,
I can't really talk because I don't really maintain. I just wait for it to break and then fix it, which is not really the way to do it. But it's terrible.
You just like challenge, don't you?
No, but they always break at the worst time as well. Yeah, of course they do. Just service them, keep them up to date, I guess, regularly. And you shouldn't have it. If you buy a good make, like you say, the Stihl is a really good make.
Yeah.
And getting back towards DIY, you're going to need bigger tools in France than you are going to need in England. By that I mean like drill wise.
Yeah.
An SDS drill is a must.
Yeah.
The walls here are so thick normally.
Yeah.
I mean, the one we had to drill through. In fact, have a look at the video. We did fitted a water heater for you, didn't we? And part of that was drilling through a 60 centimeter thick stone wall.
The issue wasn't it, that you had a stone wall this side and a stone wall that side, and loose stone in the middle. So when you drill through it, as you drill through it, you think, oh, I see it. Oh, it's great. I'm through. You pull the drill out, and the stone falls down. So it's
in your back in again.
Yeah. So what we ended up having to do, was drilling through and putting was it a pipe or a broomstick or something back the other way, so that we had the stick inside the hole, so that we could then push the pipe through.
Yeah.
It was the right mission, wasn't it?
But to get through that wall, you just can't do it with your normal run of the mill.
No. I mean, we went for batteries like anything, didn't we?
Oh yeah, you need a
proper. We ended up finishing the job with my little SDS drill. No, actually, my little cheapo supermarket drill, and it nearly burst into flames, didn't it?
It was on its last legs.
It was well up, wasn't it?
So you're going to need big stuff, like big drills, big everything, really.
Yeah.
You're going to need it. Big saws. Just going back to one thing that I remember now. So in the UK, I remember going to Travis Perkins once and buying 4 meters of 3x2 or whatever. It wouldn't quite fit in the van. So I was like, no worries, I've got a circular saw battery, I'll just take the end off because I don't need it all anyway. Geezer comes running out the office. You can't leave doing that. No. You can't use any kind of cutting equipment in this yard. Oh no, health and safety.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, whatever. Waiting for him to go inside, just cut it off. But in France, go to Leroy's or anywhere like that, there's a big board on your way out with saws.
Oh yeah, you can just do it by the till, can't you?
And there's a saw on a chain. You just cut your stuff up and then take it out. They even give you the saw.
Yeah, actually, one thing, the best thing about, we'll just call it Leroy Merlin because we know what we're talking about, and we don't want to mangle it too much.
Yeah.
The best thing about Leroy Merlin, other than the vast range of stuff, is that if you've got the app or the store discount card, the points build up really quickly. And I went there the other day and bought some stuff, and I had 30 euros worth of points on there, which I was able to use, which was fantastic. But the best thing about it, as I say, once you've got this app or this store loyalty card, is that you can return stuff without the receipt.
Yeah.
So you do a tiling job, you buy 20 boxes of tiles, and you only use 17. You take the 3 back. You show your card or your app on the phone, and they just stick it down there, and jobs are good, and you get a refund straight away. It's fantastic.
A good tip with this is that, like you said, is tiles.
Yeah.
Because you always overorder on tiles just in case, because you want to get the same shade and batch number.
Yeah.
If you wanted 10 square meters and you ordered 12, you could take 2 back or 3. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's fantastic. It's so good.
Yeah. It is a good store to buy stuff. And the prices aren't too mad either. Especially, where you go in the materials section, they're pretty similar to where you pay most. They're probably cheaper than Dennis or Point P.
You know what?
Straight up.
What I really struggle with in Leroy Merlin. So there's a difference in France. When you buy doors, right, you don't buy the door, you buy the door frame as well. So the frame's already fitted, isn't it?
That's right.
So you then buy a left opening door or a right opening door.
Are you sure about that?
Right. And I can't get my head round whether that's opening to the right from outside or opening to the left from the inside. I presently struggle with that.
Yeah.
I need to buy a door for the one of the bedrooms upstairs. I'm going to change the orientation of the door, so where it at the moment the door opens into the left hand, like into the bedroom, but from the left hand wall as you walk in. I'm going to change it so that it opens onto the right hand wall as you walk in.
Right.
So I need a door. It's going to be a door that's opposite to the one it is now, and you have à gauche or à droite, which is left or right. But I don't know whether that's whether you're in the room or out of the room.
There's another thing here we can say, and this is what I've found with this company. It sounds like an advert for them, and we're not sponsored by them, but we are open to offers.
Yeah, sadly not. Yeah.
The
amount of money I'll spend now should be on it.
Exactly. The service you get from the information points dotted around is very good.
Yeah.
And I mean, where you are, there's a lot of English-speaking people.
Yeah.
You're going to get someone that will help you and speak in English.
Yeah.
There's none literally where I am. I can't remember one speaking English, but they are extremely helpful anyway.
Yeah.
And if you took a plan of the way your room is and the way you want your door to open,
I understand. Yeah. That'd be
that's the door for you.
Yeah. I'll do that actually when I go to buy it. I'll do that.
So use their information and their people if you're unsure, because they will go out of their way to help you, even if you don't speak very good French. They will make the effort. So
we had that issue when we bought not the issue. We had that help when we went to buy the shower screens, didn't we, for the shower upstairs?
Yes,
they was very, very good there, weren't they? Very good, really helpful.
Yeah, and we knew what we wanted.
Yeah.
And they said, right, well, you're going to need this, this, and this, and this is when it'll be here. You take this paper, pay for it, and then we'll give you a call when it's ready, and that's it.
That's fantastic. And they've got a really efficient collection service there as well. So you can order stuff online, and if it's in the store, you can pick it up within 2 hours, I think.
Yeah, do you know what I noticed the other day? I was there actually the other day. You know that these Amazon boxes and stuff where you get you put a code in and the door opens and you get your stuff. They've got that there now as well.
Have they really? Okay, I've
for
not
small, for small items. So if you wanted, I don't know, a set of radiator valves, but you can't get there till 8 o'clock at night, or you want it at 4 o'clock in the morning when they're not
outside, yeah.
They put it in the locker. You put your code in, and you can get it.
Yeah, but for the
which is a really good idea.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, but for the bigger stuff, you can order stuff online or in store, and they'll send you a text or 3 or 4 emails related to it, and they'll send you a text with an order number. So you drive up to they've got like an intercom with a barrier, and they speak into the intercom, just tell them your order number. They tell you which car park space to drive into. You go and
we did that as well, didn't we?
Yeah, you go into the parking space and wait there, and then someone will come out with your order and load it into your car or into your trailer. It's really good. It's a great service.
Yeah, they got it all sewn up, I think.
Yeah.
There's not many big. There's Castorama as well.
They're
similar.
I think someone described that to me as like IKEA, but shit.
You're going to have to bleep that out now.
That's all right.
Castorama has, it's kind of a halfway house between a DIY store and a furniture store.
Right. I've not actually been in there, I've got to say.
Oh, right. So you have the half, which is like Leroy's. It's got that kind of stuff, so you can buy paint and material and stuff like that. There's no outdoor builder's yard part, but they've also got things like furniture and bathroom units, all that kind of stuff. It's not bad. It's not bad, actually. I would definitely go and have a look.
Right.
Because there are things you can get in there you can't actually get in other places.
Oh, right.
I got a really nice all chrome bathroom cabinet. So front, top, bottom, left, and the inside is in really nice grey. And it's waterproof for a bathroom. And it was the only place we could find it. So.
Do you think there's regional differences in the availability of DIY stuff as well? Because the reason I say that, before you answer, the reason I say that is because we went to Limoges we went to Leroy Merlin to get some stuff, and I needed to get some stuff for the swimming pool. When I do eventually open it, when it stops raining and it warms up a bit, I will open the pool.
In October?
Probably, yeah. But in preparation for it, I had to get some bags of salt and a few other bits. And we was driving around. So there's two swimming pool supply shops in Limoges. We was driving around, and I tell you what, they're like out of town stores. So they're warehouse type of stores.
Yeah.
There's any number of these things. These shops selling everything. Yeah, up in Normandy or up at the north of the Pays de la Loire, just on the Normandy border where I was, I don't remember anything like that. You had like your Bricots and this and that, but nothing like the range of shops there is in Limoges.
I guess it depends what kind of town you're near. So I'm near Rennes, is my next biggest town, and that's a big town.
Mm.
And then just go south of me is Nantes, which is another really big town.
Mm.
So we get lots of shops for all different things. So you can pretty much find what you want, but they are spread out, I guess. But I don't know where your Normandy place or Pays de la Loire was, or what the nearest big town was.
Yeah, probably be Laval would be the closest.
It's not a massive town, is it?
Yeah, it's not a massive town, no.
So, but Limoges is big. It's got an airport.
Yeah. That's it.
Where I am, Rennes and Nantes, they're big. They've got an airport. So probably something to do with that. I don't think there's a massive amount of difference. It's just if you're in the country. As somebody with a shop that only sells one thing, has got to have a wider customer base than
of course,
a massive multi-chain DIY store, which can probably set up anywhere and it'll still get good results.
In terms of doing the DIY itself, I think if you come to France, you've obviously got to be prepared to just have a go. I think the key to it is just to have a go. Do your research, do a bit of YouTubing, find out what you're doing, and find yourself an Andy. and just have a go.
Yeah.
Just have a go.
Yeah, I mean, you can. One of some of the big differences in France is anybody can do, or anybody can have a go at the trades. So if you get your own house, you can do your own electrics, you can do your own plumbing, joinery, building. There's no building regulations as we would understand them.
Yeah.
There are regulations if you're working on a new building site, but that's very rare that we're going to be doing that as a DIYer.
I don't think they have building inspectors either, do they?
They do on new sites, yeah. There are certain things you've got to pass the test on, and like if I'll give you an example. My brother was working as a tiler in a block of flats, and they measured the acoustic properties of the tiles and the underlay that they put down with a machine, because it has to fit into a certain regulation. So they do have on new builds, but give you an example. I did my dad's extension, and nobody came and looked to make sure I hadn't made it out of twigs or chocolate or whatever. They just wanted to come and have a look. Well, they just drove past, I think, or even if they didn't come at all, I don't know. But we just told them it was finished, and all they're interested in, does it look like what you've applied for?
And is it lunchtime yet?
Yeah, exactly. But there was no, did you put in a steel here? Did you use this thickness insulation? Did you do that? Did you do that? And the reason they don't do that is because 90%, well, more, I reckon, 95% will use artisans. And they will do it to that specification that's supposed to be, because otherwise their decennal insurance won't be valid. So they do it all to the required spec, and it's done a different way. So that makes that group of DIYers, so you can literally get away with and do what you want. In fact, we had a little bit of a conversation with Graham, didn't we, on when he was on here.
Yep.
He was saying, getting people in YouTube saying, look, that's not to regulation, it's not to code. It depends where you're from in the world. It's all different here. It's more like they let you get on with it. Like you say, you can have a go. But if you're not competent, then either get competent or get someone in who is, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I can do most things, I suppose, but electrics, it's all black magic to me. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah.
It's all black magic. That's what you hear when you turn up to your customers. Just go, I can have a go. It's all black magic. Instill some confidence. Yeah. So it's strange. What I found is people always say to me, "Oh, do you know what? I don't know anything about plumbing. I'm not going to touch plumbing. I'll have a go with electrics, but I won't touch plumbing." And you think, well, hang on, electrics would kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Plumbing, you're just going to get wet.
You're just going to get wet feet.
So, but bizarrely, people will have a go at electrics, but they won't touch plumbing, which is strange. But no, there's no regulations as such, but there are norms or ways of doing things which you should do it by, and artisans have to do it by.
Yeah. So what's your experience of people that you've come across and met that follow the cliche or stereotype of buying a rundown property in France and I'm going to do it up?
I think I've met every different type.
Because I mean, you can buy a rundown property for 30 grand.
Oh yeah.
And it'll have a roof and everything.
Yeah. Depending on the region you're in, you can get some bargains. Right? I mean, we've discussed this before, but you can buy anything, and as long as you give it, you're willing to have a go, you could probably make it into a really nice house. But my experience is that a lot of people come over and think there is a saying, not a saying, but a thought that people come over and they do the P&O builders course. So as they get the ferry when they come over, by the time they land on the other side, they're fully ready to renovate their entire house. I've seen a lot of that, and I've seen a lot of people from England come over, do the renovations, and do it all in electric, and all the electric in English, and all the plumbing in English. In fact, where you're sat right now is an example of that.
I'll rest my case here on that.
So I've seen that, and I've seen people come over here and really make an excellent job of it. I mean, like a really good job. There's an architect guy who's English, he's lived over here for many years, and all his work in his house he does himself, and it's absolutely spot on, as you'd expect. So I've seen everything in between.
But I mean, in terms of the costs, whatever you think it's going to be, what times you buy 3 or 4, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say 3. Whatever you would budget for, it's going to be way more. Absolutely way more. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, a tin of decent paint can be €90 easily.
Except, quick tip for you.
Go
to Aldi. In the centre aisle of Aldi, you should go once a week. If you live here and you do DIY, go to Aldi and Lidl once a week, because I just went this week and there's 20 litres of paint for €32.
Yeah, it's cheap, isn't it?
And it's good stuff. It's probably decent stuff as well. I've used it. It's really good.
Yeah. I went into Aldi to buy some bread because, the bread's pretty good, isn't it? And went in to buy some bread, and I bought some bread and 2 pairs of work trousers.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that.
No.
They're fantastic. They're so good, so comfortable.
I'm going to give another shout out to Aldi here, because Aldi, where I am, they provide free vehicle charging.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting.
So automatically, that's all I shop now. I don't go anywhere else. And they know that if you've got an electric vehicle, people are going to come there. and they do, and it's free.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I plug in, I go in, and I spend ages in there because the longer I spend in there, the more charge I'm getting.
Stumbling
If I
around
get to the till,
like a lost soul.
yeah, I get to the till, and there's a massive queue. I'm like, yes.
Result.
Result.
Find the longest queue.
That's it. Do you want us to go to another checkout? No, don't bother.
I bet you get to the till, right? Oh, Andy, how's your mum?
Yeah. I stand there and I say, look, I'm just going to count this money out as slow as possible.
Yeah.
But when I was there once, and this is part of an upcoming video, I was just pushing the trolley around and I was like, oh, what's this? Oh, it's a winch, a 240-volt winch to lift about 250 kilos of weight. I was like, that's ridiculous. I'm not paying €100 for that. Just left it where it is. 2 weeks later, same box is there, a bit more battered, $69.99. Yes, I'll have that. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And that gets used actually in an upcoming video. So
brilliant.
You can always find something in Aldi and Lidl to do with DIY. And actually, their power tools aren't too bad. For if you're right at the start,
isn't it? Yeah, Parkside's the brand name, isn't it?
There's Parkside and there's another one as well. But one's Lidl, one's Aldi. But if you're a basic DIYer and you haven't got any tools at all and you're starting out, you actually can't go wrong with it from Aldi.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would be my advice: is just to go to Aldi, see what they got.
Yeah. We must go. Actually, I keep saying that we're going to go, but we never do.
And the food's cheap and it's good. We're going to do an episode, I think, on shopping, aren't we? And
yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to do some research on the prices and we'll see, is it actually cheaper in the UK or not? So a lot of people.
Yeah, funny enough, when Jane's daughter Kelly was over, we was walking around Leclerc, which is the big, like the Tesco's really, isn't it, of France. And we was complaining to her about the cost of washing, like a clothes washing liquid. And she said, no, it's really expensive back in the UK. It's not just here, it's expensive. It's really, really expensive back in the UK.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really interesting episode.
Yeah, because we've been away for, it's a relatively short time, I suppose, compared to some people. But for us, 3 years we've been away, and I think a lot's changed in 3 years.
I went to, this is completely off topic what we're talking about, but
we're not going off for a tangent here, are we?
You can't prove it. There's a bottle of red wine. That's it. Bottle of red wine called La Vieille Ferme, the Old Farm.
Okay.
And it's in my local supermarket, and it's €3.98, just short of €4. And it's actually decent for €4.
Yeah,
and that's
you get a decent bottle of wine for €4. Yeah.
Oh, easily. I mean, anything more than that, you think it's a special occasion. But I went to Tesco's when I was last over, and I thought, do you know what? I know someone who like this. I'll buy them a bottle of wine, take it round. It was £12 for the exact same bottle.
Yeah, I believe it. Kelly, I'll just say about Kelly. She loves a bit of red wine, and whenever she comes over, we have a little treat, and we get a bottle of Chateau Neuf du Pape, and it's between probably 16 and 24, I suppose, depending which one it is. But the same bottles back in the UK, I would look on Tesco's website, the same bottle will be £35-40.
Yeah, for sure. And, I think with the shopping video, when we get there, some things will be more and some things will be less, and I think that's the way it is. But anyway, getting back to DIY materials and stuff, generally speaking, they are more expensive, like you covered, paint. But if you know where to shop, so use your Lidls, use your Aldi, and then there's one last shop I really want to mention, and that's Action.
Mate,
I
ever go into Action with with a shopping trolley, because you will fill it up.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Just go in with your pockets, and you'll come out with your life. Because
it's brilliant. The thing is, it's right here. It's right next to a restaurant that I quite like. So down, I'll meet you for dinner or lunch. Yeah, I'll just pop to Action.
all the stuff that you didn't realise you needed.
Exactly. But for anyone who's never been in them, they sell everything, but not everything, if that makes sense. So they sell a bit of everything.
Really, isn't it? It's like an update Woolworths, really, isn't it? Thinking about it. Woolworths, for the American viewers, Woolworths, or Woolies, we used to call it, was like a 1940s, 1950s hangover, really, and on the UK retail side. So it was they'd have your pick and mix sweets and your kids' clothes and a record counter. I think the majority of people of a certain age bought their first record, long player or single in Woolies, and just everything, households, saucepans, plates, everything that you could want for your household.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And that's what it is. Yeah. So Action is. I tell you what, are really cheap that I've noticed in well, obviously most things are really cheap in Action, but it's the same brand. Screws.
Yeah.
Screws are really cheap in Action. The same brand in Brico Batty, which is like what we said about the where you can drive in. In the shop at Brico Batty, the same screws will be €4 or €5, and they're like £1.50 in Action.
Yeah. Not only that, they have all your bulbs, they have sockets, they have light switches, they have tools, they have cable clips, paint. The paint there as well is very good, actually.
Yeah,
super good. It's actually British.
Right, so, I didn't know it. Okay.
Yeah, most of it's British paint, manufactured in Britain. So if you want to get some of your own English paint, then go there, and it's super cheap.
I've always wondered, right? So here's a question: when you go to the déchetterie, right, to the rubbish dump, and you want to get rid of your tins of paint, the staff at the déchetterie will ask you whether it's British paint or French paint.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I meant to ask why, but
is that? I wonder if that's a recent thing.
I don't know. No, it's well, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Because
maybe
now
they just keep a track on the amount of paint that's being imported.
No, I don't think it's that. I think now, like with everything, for example, in the UK now, the meat has to be stamped not for sale in the EU, because nobody in Britain can guarantee the origin of the meat. There's stories in the paper of all the meat coming in from the Far East, not being checked properly, and then getting into Northern Ireland, which then filters into Southern Ireland. So they have to stamp the meat now because of the dubious quality of the British meat.
Perfect.
That doesn't include butchers, by the way. I know the meat's a lot better there. I just mean just generally. So it's your mass-produced stuff that goes into schools, canteens, restaurants, that kind of stuff that is mass imported. But it's also the same for other stuff, other chemicals. So the like weed killers and stuff like that, you can still buy in the UK, which you're not allowed in the EU. And I'm assuming then that the paint also contains chemicals that may or may not be banned here, and they want to separate it as a corrosive rather than one that can be recycled or thrown away responsibly, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
My money is rather on that than it is they want to keep check on it.
Yeah. I mean, that is something to be aware of with the D.I.Y as well, in that it's quite easy to get rid of your rubbish here, isn't it? With the déchetteries, they're very, very good. You know, when you're taking this, so long as you pre-salt it on, in your van or your trailer, as long as you're pre-sorted before you get there, so you got all your metal in one pile, or in one part, and then your wood, and then your this and that. It's easy.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it all does depend on that one guy who's in charge.
Yeah.
If you get the Déchetterie where he's like a prisoner of war camp guard, it can be quite annoying.
Stalag
But
14. Stalag 14 Déchetterie.
I'm lucky here. I've got a good one.
Yeah, we are as well.
And my other house, he's grumpy, but he's helpful.
Mm.
But then you probably would be grumpy if you just spent all day around bins. But
Yeah,
no, I think I just going back to when we did our childhood then and now. I remember going back when we did DIY in the 80s, early 90s. You'd literally just fill the car up with all the rubbish you had that day. You'd reverse up to the skip in the yard and you just push the entire lot.
Launch it all out, and then there'd be a great big tractor, just scoop it up and make a massive pile of it. Yeah. And that'd go straight to landfill, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, straight to landfill.
But thinking back on it, how ridiculous is that? You didn't even sort it out, no recycling, no nothing, it just smash. That's it.
That's it. Stick it in the ground, forget about it.
That's how ridiculous. Anyway,
yeah.
So I think we've covered quite a lot there. Getting rid of stuff. You need bigger tools than you think you're going to need. So an SDS drill, 100%.
Yeah.
Good quality tools.
Yeah. By the best you can afford, really. I think that's the key, isn't it? By the best you can afford, and the biggest you can afford, and just just be aware of the potential damage that these tools can do as well. So
specifically the engine-driven chainsaws and stuff.
Yeah.
And also, it's worth noting the electrics in France do differ significantly to the UK. So make sure you do your research on that, because 3-phase is quite common over here, whereas in England it's very rare in residential situations. And if you don't know what 3 phases, then have a read up.
You've just changed over from 3-phase to single-phase only because of your solar project, which is fascinating stuff.
Yeah. That's a link in the description, obviously. But so I think we've covered about an hour now, something like that.
Yeah.
So
that'll do.
I think
thank you so much for watching.
Well done if you got here, by the way. Yeah.
Sorry, say again.
Well done if they got this far.
Yeah. Round of applause. So thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to give the video a thumbs up, that would be greatly appreciated. Tell your friends to come and have a look, and have a look at AJ in France, and also have a look at French Countryside Life. And don't forget Escape to France Charente, cracking channel 2, and all the others as well. You know who you are. Brilliant. And so if you'd like to give the video, as I say, a thumbs up, maybe share it on your social medias, and press the notification bell so that you know when there's new content. And maybe think about subscribing if you're not subscribed already. And all that is to say is it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye.